The Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, at the Palace of Versailles, marked the end of the First World War. The victorious governments of Great Britain, the United States, France, Italy, and Japan on one side, and the defeated German Empire on the other, came together to establish the terms of peace. This historic treaty aimed to bring an end to the devastating conflict that had ravaged Europe and the world. However, the harsh terms imposed on Germany, including territorial losses, military restrictions, and reparations, would later be criticized for contributing to the rise of Adolf Hitler and ultimately leading to the outbreak of the Second World War. Despite its intentions to bring lasting peace, the Treaty of Versailles remains a controversial and pivotal moment in world history. The Treaty of Versailles imposed full blame for the war on Germany, holding them accountable for the extensive damages incurred. Germany was mandated to make hefty reparations to the victorious Allied nations. These payments were intended to compensate for the devastation and hardships endured during the conflict, creating a substantial financial burden for Germany. The treaty's conditions were viewed as severe by many in Germany and would have enduring consequences for the nation and its economy, shaping its trajectory for years to come. In the aftermath of World War II, Germany was compelled to drastically reduce its military forces in compliance with the disarmament agreement, significantly weakening its military capabilities. Additionally, Germany was forced to relinquish extensive territories, including its colonies, as a consequence of the war. These territorial losses dealt a heavy blow to Germany, resulting in a complete restructuring of its borders and a substantial reduction in its overall size. The enduring effects of these territorial changes had a profound impact on Germany's position in the global political arena following the war. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, significantly impacted world history. Many experts argue that its harsh provisions, such as attributing full responsibility to Germany for the war and demanding substantial reparations, directly contributed to the country's economic struggles and played a role in the emergence of Nazism. This paved the way for World War II, as Adolf Hitler ascended to power on a platform of rejecting the treaty. The Treaty of Versailles marked a pivotal moment in the 20th century, underscoring the risks of punitive measures and underscoring the necessity of pursuing lasting peace through diplomatic channels. The Treaty of Versailles elicited a strong response from Germany, causing many citizens to feel dishonored and unfairly treated. This sense of injustice led to widespread discontent and political instability across the country, creating a volatile atmosphere. The stringent terms of the treaty, which involved significant reparations and territorial losses, exacerbated economic struggles and increased national feelings of disgrace. Germans viewed the treaty as a punitive action that intensified animosity and fueled nationalist sentiments. The broad resentment and dissatisfaction with the treaty ultimately laid the groundwork for the rise of extremist ideologies and political movements within the nation. The Treaty of Versailles was received with widespread public discontent in Germany, with many citizens viewing it as a Carthaginian peace aimed at the complete destruction of their nation. This sentiment was fueled by a prevailing belief that the terms of the treaty were excessively punitive and unjust, resulting in feelings of humiliation and betrayal among the German populace. The sense of resentment towards the treaty further exacerbated nationalist emotions and contributed to a growing anti-Western sentiment in Germany following the end of World War I. The economic crisis in Germany was significantly worsened by the hefty compensations that were paid, leading to hyperinflation and widespread suffering among the population. This dire situation escalated discontent and set the stage for extremist ideologies to take root. One of these ideologies was Nazism, which thrived on the dissatisfaction with the Treaty of Versailles. The Nazi Party, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, promised to restore Germany's former glory and rectify the perceived injustices of the treaty. Utilizing a combination of propaganda, intimidation, and manipulation, Hitler was able to rise to power, ultimately setting the stage for the outbreak of World War II and plunging the world into chaos and destruction. Adolf Hitler capitalized on the discontent of the German populace to garner public backing, vowing to liberate Germany from the constraints imposed by the Treaty of Versailles. In 1936, the Nazi regime, led by Hitler, brazenly reoccupied the Rhineland, boldly flouting the stipulations of the treaty and kick-starting the process of rearming the area. This audacious maneuver represented a pivotal juncture in the escalation of German might and the assertion of supremacy in Europe. The move laid the groundwork for subsequent belligerent actions in the ensuing years. The repercussions of the Treaty of Versailles were profound and enduring, impacting not only Germany but the entire world. The severe terms imposed on Germany fueled resentment and a thirst for vengeance, ultimately paving the way for the emergence of Adolf Hitler and the eruption of World War II. The economic burdens imposed by the treaty plunged Germany into widespread poverty and turmoil, fostering the growth of extremist ideologies. By emphasizing reparations and territorial concessions, the treaty left many Germans feeling humiliated and betrayed, laying the groundwork for future conflicts. In essence, the Treaty of Versailles reshaped the course of history, precipitating the rise of totalitarian regimes and setting the stage for a second global conflict. The United States played a crucial role in the Treaty of Versailles, with President Woodrow Wilson being one of the main architects of the agreement. After the end of World War I, Wilson took a leading role in the peace negotiations, advocating for his 14 points as the basis for a just and lasting peace. His ideas included principles such as self-determination for nations, disarmament, and the establishment of a League of Nations to prevent future conflicts. Despite facing opposition from some European leaders, Wilson's efforts helped shape the final treaty and laid the groundwork for a new era of international relations. Woodrow Wilson played a pivotal role in shaping the content of the treaty following World War I by introducing his 14 points, a set of principles outlining his vision for a lasting peace and the prevention of future conflicts. These points emphasized concepts such as self-determination for nations, open diplomacy, disarmament, and the creation of an international organization to promote collective security. Wilson's ideas greatly influenced the negotiations at the Paris Peace Conference and ultimately impacted the final terms of the Treaty of Versailles. His vision also set the stage for the establishment of the League of Nations, marking a significant shift towards collective security and international cooperation in the aftermath of the devastating war. Despite America's significant involvement in drafting the Treaty of Versailles, the U.S. Senate ultimately refused to ratify it. As a result, the United States did not formally become a part of the treaty and instead signed separate agreements with Germany and other Axis countries. This decision marked a significant departure from the traditional role of the U.S. in international affairs and had lasting implications for the post-World War I landscape. The failure to ratify the treaty reflected a broader reluctance among Americans to fully commit to international alliances and agreements, as well as concerns about the implications of the treaty's punitive measures on Germany.